right, hello everyone and welcome. Wanted to discuss today the difference between, let me plug my charger in, education and intelligence. And intelligence is something not everybody has, and really not everybody can get. You really, or maybe I could be wrong, maybe they can get it, but I haven't seen it acquired. I've seen education, of course, acquired. That's why they have a generalized school system. So with this system, they want everybody to, all men are created equal. It's a lie. No one is created, equal on every aspect. Some people in some aspect or another is unequally yoked. And people, everybody wants a participation trophy. There's winners and there's losers or learners and there's first place and then there's first loser. It's simple as that. It sounds cold, sure, but here's what it is though. So intelligence is something God-given. You either got it or you don't from birth. Education is stemmed from intelligence. So intelligence discovers and applies education, right? Discovers and explores and applies education. In fact, in my theory, there wouldn't be any education if there was no intelligence. Who was intelligent enough to find out, how to put these things together, to experiment, to explore different aspects of how things work? Let me roll this window because people coming around. So yeah, without intelligence, there would be no education. So people mistake intelligence or education for intelligence all the time. And it sucks for the people who are actually intelligent, because now we got educated idiots running around. So, and those people, they have the biggest mouths and, seem to know everything, And the more for my theory, the more you learn, the less you know. And anybody who knows everything knows nothing whatsoever. And I stand by that, I stand by that, because nobody knows everything, and sometimes the person that knows everything is usually the biggest idiot in the crowd, because everybody has something they're ignorant about. You never stop learning. The more you learn, the less you know. So intelligence, I feel, is really God-given. I could be wrong. It could be, something scientific, but everybody doesn't have it. Let's stop pretending like everybody's equally yoked or born equally yoked on the intelligence plane. They're just not. And that's why the educational system was created, so everybody could feel intelligent, so they could get a generalized, so the people who are not so bright, they're not the sharpest knife in the drawer, the most useful tool in the shed, so they could keep up and thrive with the people who are actually intelligent. So the people who are actually intelligent, sadly, we actually get shunned a lot, and we usually don't fit in, and unless it's amongst other intelligent people, and then it's like, hey, game recognized game, and most people just look unfamiliar to us. And that's not taken against people who lack a certain level of intelligence. Everybody has a level of intelligence, but it's not as high. Some people have emotional intelligence, some people have DIY intelligence, so basically do it yourself intelligence. So you can take something, put it together, figure it out, like IKEA type stuff, and you don't even really need anything but a picture to put the things together. And even that, that type of intelligence can come from education, which, but the thing is to be intelligent enough to, with or without the education, put these things together. There has to be a certain level of intelligence. And sorry, I'm a little split brain here. I'm lost in my thoughts right now. I'm trying to keep it together, make sure it comes out smooth. It's probably not. And I don't believe in editing. I like to let things come out as they are, as they come out, as it rolls off the tongue. And it pops out of my head and all that. So, yeah. People sadly mistake education for intelligence, and it's not. Education is something that you learn and you memorize, and you have a good memory. The intelligence part comes into applying things. So you can have all the tools in the world placed in front of you, all the education in the world placed in front of you, And, they'll tell you certain ways to apply things. But, say a new circumstance comes up that isn't in the book that you read or that you simply can't remember. Guess what? You're going to need intelligence to be able to apply that education and put those things together. So it's not going to work for you if you don't have the level of intelligence to know, oh yeah, you can remember all the tools you want to, but there comes times where you need to be resourceful. Intelligence, helps you be more resourceful. So say you don't have, that tool that you need to put this certain part together, it's gonna fail. Like if you're getting a piece of furniture, putting it together, you typically know to put the base together first, or depending on the design of the piece of furniture, of the equipment, or whatever you're putting together, which part to put together first to make it easier for you to put the rest together, to stabilize it first, and then put the rest of the things together. Just like working on a car, you got to know what nuts and bolts to take out, what parts it's like a puzzle inside in the hood of a car. So there's that. But a lot of people, they don't have the intelligence. A lot of people, and emotional intelligence is another one. And it's weird because I've seen medical professionals without emotional intelligence. And it's weird to me. Like, why would you be in a field like that with no emotional intelligence? Like, some people don't understand, that just because, okay, they have the whole saying, bleeding on the people that didn't cut you. Okay, you're not trying to, and that's why you say you like to be by yourself. You just like to be by yourself. People, with low emotional intelligence, can't seem to understand that. They can't seem to understand. Sorry about that. They can't seem to understand that some people, they just prefer to be alone. They think introverts, like, oh, eventually they'll come out and play. But that might never happen, or you just might not be their cup of tea. But when you have low spiritual intelligence, or just low intelligence really overall, they don't know when to walk away. They don't know when to just leave someone or something, a situation alone, and they'll keep pushing and pushing. And then once that that person or that thing, it breaks or snaps, they're wondering why, or they're calling it faulty. There's nothing, when in fact there's nothing wrong with that individual. There's nothing wrong with that thing, that person, that place. Is something wrong with their intelligence, whatever aspect of intelligence that may be, because you don't push something to the breaking point and then wonder why it snapped. So that's the thing about it, unless you're just a shitty person, in which case it's a lose-lose for that person. It's a lose-lose for you if you're just a shitty person. Because intelligence will tell you, hey, this is about to break. Give it some time to repair itself, heal itself, or whatever. Give it some time to recover, basically. But these people who are not intelligent, they don't give anything time to recover. They want to keep pushing and pushing, and then wonder why it doesn't work for them anymore, or why that person doesn't want anything to do with them, because they're like, they think what works for one person works for every person, when an intelligent person knows, it's like astrology. Like, people, I'm not saying that people who are not intelligent don't like astrology. I'm just saying there's so many components to astrology, and people get it so twisted, thinking, oh, my sun sign, mine is, a Libra. I'm a Libra, with some Scorpio, Gemini, Virgo, a little bit of probably everything, I believe, last time I looked at my chart. And they don't understand, like, if they look at things like the inside of a car or a machine, and that's pretty much how if you look at the inside of a car or machine, or like something like in a factory, a conveyor belt or something, there's so many different aspects and ratios and things that are happening, planetary alignment, timing down to the nanosecond, what retrograde is in, or what, so on and so forth. I don't fully understand it myself. I would like to. I want to devote quite a bit of time in those types of studies, what axis or what degree the planet is on that particular axis, and what planet it is aligning with in certain amounts of time. There's so many. It's like, so think like Doctor Strange, probability, possibilities. It's just that there's so many different scenarios, millions of scenarios in astrology included. Even your birth chart, you were born individual and everybody wants to be a copy. Like, be yourself because everybody else is taken. I'm pretty sure some of you have heard that before. But just be yourself. Like, you can't be somebody else because it's not aligned. The stars are not aligned that way for you. It's not in your chart. And not everybody's going to handle things the same. Not everybody's going to do things the same, think the same, feel the same way. And that's something I need to work on myself, because my whole thing is I know how to move on. And people get mad at me for knowing how to, being someone who can easily let things go and easily move on from people, places, things. It doesn't matter what it is. I can move on from it and I can move up from it. Because I don't stay on my x-axis, I get on my y-axis and keep elevating, or at least I try to. I don't really let myself get stuck, like the thing is quicksand is like people say if you keep moving you get stuck in quicksand, but there's a method to that, and it's very boxy. So yes, there is a way to get out of quicksand, and I saw a video on it, and it didn't look hard, but I'm pretty sure if I would, me or you were in a situation, depending on who you are, I'd probably not know what to do, probably panic a little bit and have to have somebody guide me through it, even after watching the video. Some people have the type of intelligence they could do whatever, anything after watching a video, and they just get the general idea of it. So this translates into spiritual. Some people they have no idea about this spiritual realm, this spiritual battle, and just the personal battles they don't see other people going through. So it's just like, oh, she doesn't treat other people like that, why is it me? Maybe it's your energy. Move on. Instead, someone who is not intelligent would rather sit there and gossip about you, to follow you around, watch you, and like, for what? Like, why not just move on and do something with yourself? And maybe that person more than likely senses you doing that. That is trash. It's straight trash. And that's not to sound unintelligent. It's just like, why would you waste your time on somebody who's giving you a clear rejection? Which brings me to the R word minded people. Actually, I'll do another video about that. Who doesn't understand that no answer is an answer and no is a complete sentence type thing, or they try to pretend like they didn't know your rejection was a rejection or your no was a no. And it's either they don't care or it's somebody of low intelligence. Like I said, it's a lose-lose situation. Low intelligence, or in that department, that aspect, because you could be highly intelligent in one aspect and be a complete dud in another. So this is me also trying to discover more patience for people. This is just being real, me being real with myself, because my patience isn't there. When I feel like somebody is, I've used words like stupid, idiot. I used it earlier in this video actually. But it's like it's a limited intelligence in that field, or you're playing stupid. But it's like either way, it just doesn't look good to have that little understanding of someone and their boundaries to you, because their boundaries to you may not be the same boundaries they give everybody else, and most people, they just want to be a part of something, or they want to be, they want to be that person that breaks through your shell or breaks you out of your shell, whatever the case may be with you, and then it turns into an obsession because of their lack of intelligence of who you are. Now you're a mystery because they couldn't crack that shell, and they don't even know anything about the spiritual world and why you're not talking to them, why you don't deal with them, why you probably avoid them. Like they simply don't understand or don't want to understand, or they're trying to play stupid and want some drama, and now that they've gotten rejected, they're upset about it. And rejection is protection, for sure. Rejection is protection. Like I don't get mad about rejection at all. It's like, it hurts a little depending on what it is and who it is, but like all the people that have rejected me, I'm glad, because I looked back and I saw the type of people that were, I'm like, oh, I really dodged a bullet out, and I thank God, because and then the whole thing about these people is their intelligence level is just like, They get into their feelings now. So now, here's where the nonsense starts, because it's like, oh, they try to take your rejection and make it into a situation that looks like, oh, they rejected you. Like, why do you even care? You know, take your L and keep it moving. Now it's like they look desperate now, and now they burned a bridge. Typically, I know with me, that's a burned bridge when you try to turn it around. Like, oh, you know, I'm this, and that. Like, nah, you can. At this point, you're dead to me. So, you know, I don't do those childish games. I don't do the whole slithering behind somebody's back, gossiping. Not about to do all that. I'm gonna move on with my life. And, you know, if you want to try to stop me, you can try. And I'm gonna do what I do. Period. And yeah, the thing is, like, find out where your intelligence is and where where you lack intelligence, where it's a little lower than other aspects, and, you know, as well as people. And some people, they don't have empathy, which is another reason they probably, more than likely, they created religion, and they definitely lack accountability. So the devil is a scapegoat, you know, for most people, believe it or not. You know, people do messed up stuff all the time, and they blame the devil. Well, say there is a devil, you know, and yeah, I believe there are evil entities or whatever, you know, that are body hopping, vessel hopping. Who left the portal open? You know, what did you leave open for that entity to jump into your vessel and come and make you, you know, and come and have you in this matter? And even still, if it's in your vessel, now you have to fight the urge and purge. You know, so there's many steps that could have been taken before you got to the point of this undesirable behavior towards yourself or towards anyone or anything. So there's too many different factors to really just make judgments on people, especially as a human being. And we're not elevated beings yet. We're supposed to be a superior species to everything on else, but with everything else on earth, we seem to be the most primitive. Minus if we don't have the electronics, the most primitive. You know, and if we didn't have all these methods of cooking and stuff like that, a lot of us, because we don't know how to hunt, we just kill other people and probably go cannibalistic because of our lack of intelligence, you know, and lack of skill and education with hunting and gathering for ourselves. Just saying. Or some of us have people that will hunt and provide for us, but that doesn't last forever. But yeah, that's me going off on a slight tangent, but you get what I mean, I hope. If not, you're probably on the wrong channel. And, you know, I'm not here to spoon feed anybody or baby anybody. It's like, this is for people who, you know, they are starting their spiritual journey, or they have some kind of understanding or intelligence in that aspect. You know, and people with, you know, they have the intelligence to know that people have been through things. Everyone goes through things. It's, you know, and most people do as much as they can to stop from going to the woe is me, why me, why is my life like this, I'm cursed, la la la. And, you know, they're fighters. You know, they are constantly fighting to get through, you know, whatever it is they got to get through, and that's their intelligence talking. Because, you know, education says, oh, I'm educated, I'm entitled, you know, because I went to school for X amount of years or X amount of time, and I'm entitled to these positions, you know, and to be competing with these same caliber of people, so on and so forth. But the thing is, it's like, you get an education, you know, and that's all you know for the rest of your life. So they tell you to choose a career, choose something that you would do for free and you wouldn't mind retiring in. Well, guess what? If it doesn't teach you something that applies to real life, and say it's a physical occupation or a mental occupation, and you suffer some kind of injury that you can't do it anymore, and you have no one, you need to survive. Well, guess what? Do you have the intelligence to survive without your degrees, your papers, your education? You know, and that's my whole thing about education. Is like, if I'm gonna go to college, I'm gonna make sure that whatever I educate myself in or get educated in, allow a establishment or institution to educate me in, I'm going to be able to apply it in real life. You know, it's not because I mean, like I said, I got a lot going on I got a lot going on in my brain right now, and a lot going on in life in general, project after project. So with that said, drink water, eat dark greens, heal from within. You determine your worth. Don't let anybody else determine it. And make sure, make sure you do that. And life is too short to mind other people's business, so it's best that you mind your own.